Hi, I'm Rob Menzies and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to part 2 of the middleweight naked test rides, and we're here today at Bridge Motorcycles in Exeter, where they've been very kind to let me out on the Triumph 765 RS, which I'm really looking forward to, and if I'm honest, this one is probably my go-to bike that I've been really looking forward to riding. So come with me as we go and take a test ride, and I'll bring you along with me. Okay, so just stopped, we're just around the corner from Bridge Motorbikes. I'm going to do a first impressions on this bike, and I've got to say, first impressions feels like home. I've got to be honest, there is not a single thing on my first impressions that makes me really think to myself, we got a problem, or there's any issue with it. You sit on it, it's a comfortable position. As you start riding it, all the switch gear just feels easy to use. It's soft, none of it is hard, it's all nice and compliant. You can immediately see all the bling. So we've got braided lines, we've got Brembo brakes, you've got decent suspension, you've got Olin suspension, seat is comfortable. The screen, quickly turn the screen on, it's a colour screen that seems to have loads of different modes. So you've got different modes, different colours, loads and loads of information. So again, you can change this around. So the nice bit with this is I don't actually have to have this layout, but you've got rev counter, you've got speedo, you've got how much fuel, you've got gear, you've got temperature gauge. So yeah, it ticks all of the right boxes. So again, as you look at switch gear, it's clear and simple, although it does look a little bit on the busy side. I could find everything really easily. You know what you're doing. Again, all of the switch gear, everything you're feeling just feels of a quality. So let's go ride this baby and see how I am feeling about it, and if I can find any positives or negatives once I've ridden it, and see where we go from there. Okay, so now been out and I've done my test ride. Hopefully you've just seen some of that as I've taken you with me. Yeah, this is interesting. So this bike does absolutely everything perfectly. Really does. When you're riding, you can change rider modes. I had a play with some of the screens. You can swap and change the screens around as well. The quick shifter is really smooth. The blipper works really well. The suspension is firm, but basically handles the road extremely well. Glides through corners effortlessly. You can... yeah, it didn't feel unsettled in any way, it didn't feel like it was being pushed in any way. It's quite happy going slowly and can be quite compliant, but then as you open her up, more than happy to get cracking, and has got some beans in her, so she will definitely go. The only thing that I would say Yesterday I rode the MV Augusta, and I've got to say that one excited me, but I also described it as an automatic diesel. With this one, the only way I can describe it is it feels like an old pair of slippers. Literally, I don't have to think about this bike. When I ride this bike, it's like I've been riding it for decades. The other bit that I would say that comes out of it, I'm not sure how fun this bike is. So I just got on and rode it, and it did it, and we got from A to B perfectly, without issue, without drama, without anything going on. Everything worked, everything was comfortable, everything was perfect. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. It can accelerate really well in pretty much any gear. The brakes are really, really good and will stop me whenever I want them to stop me. The quick shifter meant that I didn't really need to touch the clutch in any way, shape or form. The engine note at idle or at when you're riding it is perfect. The screens are really, really good. The TFT screens, is it TFT? Color screen, whatever it is, really good. Again, I played with the screen modes. I could change riding modes on the fly while I was riding. All of it, fantastic. I have no fault with this bike. Everything on it is absolutely perfect. Other than the fact, I feel like I've been riding it for 20 years. I got on the bike and literally felt like it's something that I've already owned. And I guess I've got to say, because of that, this bike is that good. I think it's a bit dull. I think. But anyway, let's see how we get on. There is no negatives to this bike. That's the one big thing. Absolutely zero negatives. So, hey. And now it starts to rain. So on that note, we're going to go. Okay, so test ride now done. Come back and now sat back in the car again. Got to be honest, feeling a bit flat. So have gone back in, seen the dealership at Bridge. Not overly impressed. I'd actually booked 2 test rides with them, one on the Triumph that you just watched and the other one on a Kawasaki Z900. What they'd actually prepared for me was a Kawasaki Z900 RS, 2 very, very different bikes. So yeah, didn't get to do the second test ride that I had planned, so I have to try and rearrange that somewhere else. Also, got to be honest, kind of got the impression that they weren't really interested. If I'm honest about it, he was trying to get me on the test ride as quickly as he could because he got another customer coming through the door, and then when I came back to basically say thanks for the test ride, more interested in other customers, and was like, yep, see you again some other time, and was very clearly trying to get me out the door. So a really interesting one, because quite frankly, the Triumph Street Triple RS is definitely my beginning go-to bike that I went to, and as I've just gone through with you, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Did everything absolutely perfectly. But I'm now questioning, is it the right bike for me? Is it got the fun factor that I'm really looking for, or does it do everything just so well that it just gets you from A to B? I've got to say, I'm feeling a bit flat. I'm not sure if it's the dealer experience or if the bike experience. Not really sure on that one. One other bit that I did want to just throw in is the modes. So I did play with rain mode, road mode and sport mode. Sport mode basically allows you to get a bit more progress. It does pick up a bit quicker. I've got to say, the one that surprised me though, the rain mode in comparison to road mode, there didn't really seem to be any difference. As you would have caught on camera, I caught up with, or I had a bit of rain as I was just coming in off the back of the test ride, so I went into rain mode, and it rode exactly the same as road mode. I'm sure it changed the traction control settings, but it didn't actually change the engine mapping, or didn't feel like it changed the engine mapping anyway. So I found that one quite interesting, that there was no real change. Comparing that to yesterday, where rain mode was very specifically different and you could really feel the difference. yeah, that was quite interesting actually. So really need to take stock from this ride. I hope it hasn't confused you as much as it's confused me. What I would say, Triumph Street Triple RS, it's fantastic. It does everything fantastic, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. So let's go do some more test rides, and I will be speaking to you guys again very soon. See you soon. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please remember to not only like the video but also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos like this in the future. Thanks again for watching, and see you again soon.